Hey, and we are live again, once again from the man cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and welcome. I'm putting the chats up now in case anybody's out there. Give you a couple minutes to chat in. We got our panel of guests tonight. I'm going to start off with the younger guy tonight and introduce him.
Hello.
This is I got a whole thing on you, bro.
Oh, great.
from the great state of Illinois. He may look 18, but his man voice says he's 22.
Woo!
He's Hispanic, but ironically, he hates Mexican food. He once ate 20 hot dogs in 30 minutes, and his favorite movie is The Notebook. This is Greg.
I told you that in confidence.
That is a great intro.
Oh my god! Now I regret this.
Too late.
And this is Angela. This is, dude. I didn't have one up for you because you are supposed to be on the show tonight. So
that's all right. Just seeing me like this is intro enough.
I got one for Pat. I've got one for Peter, both of which can't be here.
That's all right.
And Greg and this guy. We got an introduction for this guy again, though. This man needs no introduction. He's been bald and had a mustache since second grade. He still lives with his parents, but that's only because his mom cooks better than your mom. He studied engineering, but he minored in love. He is the AOA president.
Oh man,
Jeff Shear.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's
Took me a week to write those up, buddy.
That's amazing. That's
right.
amazing.
So,
wow.
Woo!
All right, so we're gonna see who chats in. Hopefully, some people are out there. We got the chats on. I got live on. I got our man in the
box.
our guest is in the box for the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to go around, and as always, we're going to find out what's new in the zoo. So we'll go with you. What's new in the zoo, brother?
So GI Joe related, I recently got some hands for my Takara bearded GI Joe, so he can finally hold a weapon now. Outside of that, I did add a new member to my team. A good friend of mine sent me this reproduction GI Joe, so I figured I'd add him to my group. And outside of that, I did end up getting another smart doll. That was a spontaneous purchase that I did not plan. So as you can see behind me now, I got 4 of them. Hopefully it doesn't grow anymore because I don't have enough room for them, but that's about it.
Gamer Newbie 78 just joined us. Thanks.
What's up, buddy?
Jeff, what you got new in the zoo, bro?
Well, I'm finishing up my workshop. I just started kind of you could call it a pre-production on Adam and I's photo story that we're doing this fall. And last week was obviously spring break here. And I finally got to take my son and do a bunch of firsts. Went to a children's museum, a drive-in movie, flew a kite. And I can't remember what else we did, but I'm completely worn out. And I just went to work this morning just for vacation.
Dude, I know those times, man.
I
remember those days, dude.
I saw that kite. You got to get the GI Joe Skyhawk so you can try to fly that bad boy.
But maybe we can talk Jim Egner into 3D printing a reproduction one.
Yeah,
I saw you asked him about that. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh my gosh.
Had one, sold it. I regret it.
Michael Burks here from Oklahoma. All right, brother.
Michael?
What's new in the zoo?
New in the zoo. Well, one of the things new in the zoo was yesterday's Easter photo comic that I threw together real quick. I received in the mail what I want to call a Wendigo. If you saw it was a skeleton. It looked like a jackalope. Everyone kept calling it a jackalope. So my mind went pow. And I immediately came up with a little storyline to go along with it. I wrote the story in one day and took photographs the next day. And believe it or not, I took over 150 photos just to get ones that were halfway decent. And they still were a little blurry. The lighting wasn't best inside. Outside ones came out great. I used a little sepia tone to change it, make them a little old. And I put that comic together and finished it last night, about 9 o'clock or so. I put it on YouTube. and a few people actually watched it, and I think I got a couple people who actually enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun creating that one. And then I have another one that came in the mail. This one is like a little mermaid.
Oh, cool!
Oh, wow,
That's trippy.
Who made that?
So I'm putting together. Like I said, I keep purchasing all these things that go along with my cryptid adventures, and creating storylines to go along with that. So I got that going on. Then I received a very nice care package from Sergeant Soldier today. I don't do unboxings, unfortunately. I probably should. Everyone has done so. I really haven't jumped on the bandwagon yet. But he sent me a very nice box with a lot of goodies in it, and I greatly appreciate all that James sent me. So I wanted to shout out thank you to that.
Very cool. I was watching that picture you took about the lighting on the bridge.
Yes,
Dude, that's helpful for people for like
my girl
do photography outside a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw my girl. She that one was it does unbelievable that when you're taking pictures, just the difference. It's the same bridge. I was on one side versus the other, and it just where the sun was at that particular time.
That's cool.
GIA is with us again.
Yeah. Hey, Michael. What's up, buddy? Logic Blaster.
Yep, Logic Blaster's always here. We're still trying to get him on the show, and he still was chicken.
Hey, congratulations on 1,000 subscribers.
I know he makes
Amazing.
1,000 subscribers. He'd make 2,000 if he was on our show. You know that.
I hit 90. Yay.
Congrats.
Hey, it's a grind.
It is a grind.
I tell you, if we get Logic Blaster on here, we all have to wear sunglasses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All
Dude,
of us gotta wear
he did give us a good plug, though.
Yeah, he did. It was great.
I saw that.
And
he got to sit sideways. Doesn't he always sit sideways too?
He's cool, man. He's a cool dude.
We can make all our screens black and white, too.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
that.
I love him. He's got great content.
We got somebody new here. Who's that in the middle? First here. Moving my Joes around. Now they never stay on the shelf long. What's up, guys?
A dead doornail. What's up, buddy?
A dead doornail.
Yes.
I love seeing new people coming up.
Right.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Hey, yeah. So I was going to talk to you, Jeff. You missed me and Filmaholic were talking earlier about the one guy last week that commented and said our show's really vanilla. And yet last week's show was the most watched. We had like 250 people. Every week it keeps going up and up and up. So, I mean, for us being a vanilla show, we got
I put the bandana on today, so I wasn't so vanilla.
If he wants a circus, just watch like the news. This is not.
We would all take our shirts off tonight. Do something different. Angelo just came back from the gym. He has no problem taking the shirt off.
I look like a bear. I'm all hairy.
All right, my one question for you before we bring in our special guest tonight. Best childhood memory, and it doesn't have to involve toys, but just give me a best childhood memory. And Filmaholic, you are up first.
Oh, I was gonna say, give me a second. There's a lot of memories.
Jeff, you got one? You thinking about one?
No. I got to think about one in a second here. I'm trying to think.
I got one for you. I'll just talk about mine while you guys think about yours.
You do yours.
I remember Christmas. We always did Christmas Eve, open gifts up. And I remember it was probably 1975, 76. It's before Star Wars. And I just remember coming down the steps and the living room was just packed with toys or wrapped gifts. You know what I'm saying? And I had never seen that many in previous Christmas. I just remember that one. And every Christmas after that, the gifts get less and less, smaller and smaller. You know, as you get older, you're getting clothes, you're not getting toys. But that one year, man, for some reason, man, my older brothers and sisters blew it out for me and my parents, and it was a huge Christmas that year. So,
all right, I got mine.
All right, I'll go to Jeff. Hang on. Go ahead, bro.
It was probably my 8th or 9th Christmas. I wanted this Tyco race car. It was real similar to the Real American Hero remote controlled car, but it was a remote controlled dune buggy. That's all I wanted for Christmas. And my mom and dad told me that they couldn't get it for me. They lied. Under the tree that morning, that baby was right there, red Tyco race car. And it's my best memory and my worst because before I could play with it, my brothers took it outside and broke the gear off. I broke the axle off of it.
Oh, dude.
Jesus.
So we broke the car. My dad wrote a letter to Tyco, and they sent us the replacement part. And then I had that remote control car for several years.
So good ending to a bad story, I guess.
Yeah, that was the story. That was my brothers growing up.
Right.
Right on. You were the youngest?
I'm the youngest of 5 kids. So
Oh, dang, man.
yeah.
I'm second to the youngest of 7 kids. So.
Oh my gosh, those Catholic families, man.
Oh, yeah. Good Catholic family.
They're with you.
All right. Filmahawk, you got one yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna cheat a bit. It's probably gonna be whenever I went to the flea market with my grandfather, because that's where I fell in love with all these vintage toys, because they were the cheapest ones at the time, and at that time you can get them for great prices. So anytime I was out with my grandfather or even my dad at the flea market, those were my favorite memories.
Very cool.
It's awesome. That's a good story.
Ange, wake up.
Yeah, oh, sorry, man.
I know you just came back from the gym and you're tired, but you know.
I got to go get some more pre-workout. Hang on.
Hey, I worked out too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm trying to think, about favorite childhood memory, and I'm having a real hard time. And I don't, I had an awesome childhood, a lot of toys. How a lot of parents used to throw out the boxes. My parents kept all of theirs, all mine. So I had a whole entire attic full of all the original boxes from the 3 3/4 inch stuff. Those were some of the first things that I started collecting. I probably was 12 or 13 when I first started. A little old, but it was GI Joe, and I had to have it because it had the GI Joe logo. But I think one of the things that I used to love to do was going to the local convenience store to get the GI Joe comic book. And I think the best time and the most vivid memory, we were going. I may have mentioned this before. We used to take Sunday trips. My old man, it was his favorite thing to do. He worked all week. On Saturday, he would go work with my Uncle John, building railings and whatnot. He built all the railings in Rotterdam, all metal railings. Those two guys were maniacs. But Sunday was Sunday drive. We would go for a Sunday drive wherever Dad wanted to go. And we would stop at the local Del Gross grocery store. And I remember going in to grab some Sergeant Rock comics or whatnot. And there was a GI Joe comic, and it was GI Joe number 5. And that was the first GI Joe Real American Hero comic that I owned. And it revitalized a lot of that GI Joe love, and I started collecting the little 3 3/4 inch at that time. So that's a vivid memory for me.
Cool.
Mhm.
Logic Blaster says his Christmas of getting Micronauts. You guys have Micronauts? I had some of those.
I did. I had the Pharoid.
Yeah. I had the big walking guy. I can't remember what the name of him was. And Gamey Newbie 78. He said he's jealous of us because we grew up with the 12-inch figures. Dude, I had 2 hand-me-down 12-inch figures for my brother. I didn't have a lot. I went right into the I had 2 1964 GI Joes, and then I went to Star Wars in 1977 when those came out.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a lot. I definitely didn't have adventure teams. I remember the commercials. I remember other kids having them, but I had the 2 vintage ones from my brothers.
Right.
Yeah, mine were all Frank and Joe that my cousins blew up and had to put them back together. But those were the most cherished ones that I still have. So those were, could tell a story.
Jeff, you're even younger.
Yeah, well, I'll be 49 this year. I had flea market and garage sale GI Joes because my brothers were supposed to give me theirs, and they blew them all up. So then I had a lot of the 3 3/4 inch figures, and I had a ton of different toys growing up. So I love toys. It's a problem.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
it's a good problem.
It's a great hobby. It's why
Exactly.
I tell
Yes.
everybody.
There's a lot of worse hobbies and problems to have.
The happiest
Right.
this past weekend, one of the happiest things for me was my son wanted to get all his GI Joes and take them over to Grandma and Grandpa's and play out in the yard while I mowed, and it was awesome. He was like out there with
the
his
same thing with mine.
Yep, he had his Jeep, his ATV, all these figures. It was just watching him. I was like, this is great.
Yep.
Awesome.
So,
It's cool time.
Cherish that now, brother.
yeah, I
Yep.
do.
Yep.
I do. I video everything so I can remember it.
That's right. That's great. That's great.
That's about time to bring our special guest in. If you guys are ready,
Let's do it.
Alrighty.
we're not doing no game show tonight because I think you guys already know him. Matter of fact, Jeff was one that tossed him on to me, and he's already got his secret mask on already from his YouTube channel.
Snake
This
eyes.
is Mike McCarthy from Mike's GI Dojo. Welcome aboard.
Hello.
What's
What's
up,
up, bud?
guys? What's happening?
How's it going?
What's going
Yeah.
on, man?
Nothing. Hanging out. Glad you guys invited me on, and ready to party.
All right.
All right.
Cheers to that.
Jeff's already got started there for you. So my first question to you, brother, I sent you a list of questions. Hope you had a chance to look those over.
Yeah.
What type of channel would you say you run?
A lot of the channels on YouTube are more like they try to make them like TV shows. They're more entertainment. I would call mine like information. It's like a video version of Wikipedia where I just spit out information, and it's a little easier for people to digest, the information on video sometimes than reading like a big database like yojo.com.
Sure. Let me bring everybody in here so we can all share. You guys got any questions? I got a list of questions. So if you guys have anything, you can throw it up now. If anybody's chatting in, they want to ask a specific question, go ahead and throw it up there.
What are you collecting anything right now? Like you're really into?
Yeah. I had like a nearly complete Hall of Fame collection about 5 years ago, and I had an opportunity to sell a lot of it and make a pretty good profit, and I've regretted it ever since. So I kept all my vintage style stuff, but the Hall of Fame stuff, I'm in the process of rebuying it right now.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I was in the same boat you are. I have almost all of it, and I just don't know what to do with it, So I don't want to get rid of anything. I don't like getting rid of stuff, but it's always in the back of my mind. But I'm glad you mentioned that because maybe that'll flip me a little bit.
Yeah, if I would say just pack it up for a year or two, and within that year or two, you'll find yourself realizing like, man, I should get those Hall of Fame figures again. I sold them. Oh wait, they're in a box in a closet, just out of sight, out of mind, and you'll fall in love with them again if you just don't look at them for a while.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They had some great uniforms. Unfortunately, they had some sucky figures, but
Yep.
Yeah.
some
Great
of the
head
uniforms were
sculpts.
pretty cool. Yeah. Oh
A
yeah.
lot of great head sculpts. Just
The Barbie
Bodies.
body. Yeah, the Barbie bendable body. I just
Right.
couldn't get past it.
that
Yeah,
Hall of
tough.
Fame. That Hall of Fame Jeep is a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I still have my original, and it's a beast.
Me too.
That's how heavy duty it is. It survived everything and still have it.
Yeah,
That's why-
mine's at school. I have my students play with it. I wasn't really into the Hall of Fame figures and such, but I got a couple of the Jeeps, and I bring them to school, and I had the kids, take them home and play with them outside. And I got the Jeep there, and they beat up on it and have a good old time with it. So maybe I shouldn't do that, but I think they're into having a good time with it.
No,
They're meant to be played with, so
Yeah, they'll never be valuable, so let them play with it.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Hey, Mike, I watched your last two box openings. I'm glad to see you are a box open guy, not a mitten box guy like Johnny Cedric, who was on our show before. You do
Yeah.
open them up, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, if it's like a mint on card, German stormtrooper outfit from '66, or Snake Eyes version 2, mint on card, maybe don't open those. But like 90% of this stuff, I saw, like, I watch a lot of video game collecting YouTube channels, and the one guy, his name's Mike McCarthy. He's like friends of the Angry Video Game Nerd. His analogy was the stuff we collect is almost like Elvis collectible plates, and it's like we love it to death, but another 30 years down the road, people are just going to be like, what am I going to do with these Elvis
Right.
plates?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take them outside
I
and
can
do
see that.
skeet shooting.
That's a great analogy, actually.
So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, maybe it'll be valuable and maybe it'll be heralded through all time, but probably not. And just open it, have fun with it, unless it's some uber rare, highly desired thing.
Sure.
Hmm.
Phil
But
Mollis,
yeah,
any questions?
If it's something that's valuable, I always buy it loose, and if it's worthless, I buy it mint in box so I can get a mint example.
Anybody got a question? Nope.
No, I just do want to add something. I do appreciate you describing your channel that way, because that's the type of channel that I gravitate towards. Because nowadays everything's so overproduced that it's kind of hard to find the genuine content creator. And your content reminds me a lot of the early 2007 YouTube, where people were still gritting their teeth to get in, YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I try to make it the videos real simple, so it's it's what's the word, sustainable, to actually produce consistent content. If I know I've got to bust out a video camera and do editing software on the computer, maybe I'll be less likely than just to film something on my phone and edit it in iMovie real quick and put a video. I put a lot of those videos together on my 30-minute lunch break at work. So, I work out of the house and I'll throw it together in 30 minutes. So
That's awesome.
those are, it makes it authentic. It makes it real.
Exactly.
And I mean, I see some of my boys watch some of these things on YouTube and it's just absolute garbage. It's just mind numbing, stupidity. I mean, it's just this goofy, they're trying to be goofy and silly and get someone to laugh. But it is that there's not that much out there that's any good, informative, letting you know things. That's what it should be about, finding out information and learning something and having fun, not the mindless garbage. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Mike, how'd you get your channel name?
Actually, good question. Kind of took a cue from the YouTube channel GI Joe. They do a podcast. They actually started the podcast years ago and then kind of transitioned to a YouTube channel. They're out of South Africa, and these guys are like the biggest real American hero fans in the world. And the guys are in their 30s, and they just actively physically play with the toys and throw them in the mud. And if you haven't seen GI Joe, the one video you need to watch is where they get some raw styrofoam from a home improvement store and use some electric kitchen knives and stuff and create a styrofoam hull for the USS Flag and float it in a lake.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And they put waders on and go out there and they fly sky strikers, and they have these videos called they call play action. And they don't try to hide. It's them actually manipulating the toys stop motion. They just play with them. And but they make it narrative. They do voice acting and stuff. And it's it's really popular amongst the hardcore A Real American Hero crowd, which I love A Real American Hero, and that's what got me started on GI Joe. But I don't collect them that much anymore. I'm just into 1/6 scale 12-inch Joes.
Yeah, but I saw that the one you did on your room video. I mean, you have a little bit of everything, man. You're a little hodgepodge.
Yeah. I wish I could focus on one thing, but I wish I could just retcon my childhood and just be obsessed with GI Joe. But there was no denying the Ninja Turtles. From 89 to 91, it was the biggest thing on the planet. So everybody at least watched an episode of Ninja Turtles or maybe had one figure or something, seen the movie, seen the cartoon. So I was born in 84, and so I was primed to be obsessed with the Ninja Turtles. But so
yeah, you're the same age as my my nephew. He grew up a Ninja Turtle guy, and that was a little bit after I got out of some of that stuff. I was still in Masters of the Universe kind of by then, but I remember all those Ninja Turtle toys, man. There was the blimp.
Yeah.
The blimp was wild.
Yeah.
I put that together for him on Christmas Day, and I was like, this thing is freaking dope. It's a giant inflatable balloon, man. You don't get stuff like that anymore.
Yeah. The collection, the collection I'm putting together, a lot of people on YouTube that collect Ninja Turtles, they get all the variants and then the different turtles and costumes and stuff. And I just have the 4 original turtles from 88, and then I'm getting all the other characters. So I like the way it looks, other other Ninja Turtle collections, it's just a big wall of green plastic. 'Cause they have every single iteration of the turtles, but I just have the 4 originals and then April and Vernon and all the cast and characters. So little more mix, a better mix of color, I guess.
Right on.
Yeah. Come on, Ange. I know you want to jump in here.
Yeah, I do. I wanted to ask in regards to, I know you said you got about a lot of different types of figures and whatnot. You mentioned the Ninja Turtles, and you mentioned to some of the 3 3/4 inch, but mostly 12 inch. What is your favorite? Do you have a favorite figure? A favorite 12 inch figure? Would it be along the vintage line? Would it be Adventure Team? Would it be more of the Real American Hero line?
Yeah. So nostalgia wise, with nostalgia as a factor, it's the Hall of Fame Snake Eyes, which I have my original one still. And he's like perfect. I had to buy him a new uniform at some point, but he's perfect. But like objectively, I think the Adventure Team is like the best action figure toy line of all time.
Me too.
Yeah, they, and because like my dad had the military Joes in the 60s, but he never had Adventure Team. And I learned about Adventure Team on like dial-up internet. And I was just like, I had the Hall of Fame figures in the 90s, and I always wanted them to have more vehicles and even a play set, and they didn't. And then, I learned about the Adventure Team headquarters and the training center and all that stuff on the internet, the MSV and all that. And, knew like I had to get it all. And when they did the 2006 Hot Topic exclusive Land Adventure, that's the first time I got a vintage figure, even though he's a reproduction. And I had been looking at him for years online, but I just never pulled the trigger and spent the money.
With the I just want to throw with that Snake Eyes figure, the Hall of Fame one, and that's the one where you had that blue mask on when you how did you feel about that? Because did you follow the comics at all with Snake Eyes being the original with the wearing all black and whatnot? How did you feel with that type of mask or that get up for the Hall of Fame figure? Because I would have been like, it's not really Snake Eyes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love it, and that's my favorite version of Snake Eyes. But it's just purely nostalgia, and I know the other versions are superior, objectively. But just they were doing like a lot of mass marketing at the time of Snake Eyes looking like that, and he's like that in the Nintendo NES video game. He's like that there's like a digital watch for kids to wear, where he's marketed like that version 4 on the package, and immortalized as the Hall of Fame. And I think I like it too because my parents would only buy me just what was available at the local Kmart. They would spend any amount of money that I wanted, under the sun in that Kmart, but they weren't going to drive anywhere. They were just like, whatever is here, you can have it. And so I had a lot of the 87 line of A Real American Hero, and that's what I started with. But then I never had like the main characters. I never had Duke. I never had Snake Eyes. I just had like the scraps, and and I think they packed a lot of those version 4 Snake Eyes, a lot of them per case. And so that was the first time I was able to get like a main character, was that version 4 Snake Eyes. So, I was like, same thing with I forget which version it is, but Duke with like the Desert Storm camo and the red highlights. Yep. I was like, yeah, I finally got Duke after 5 or 6 years of watching him on the Sunbow cartoon. So that's why I like those versions, but the originals are better, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Out of all your toy collections, what's the largest? Is it your 1/6 scale stuff, or do you have?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I have. I probably have about 60 12-inch figures, and my Ninja Turtles are in about 50 or so. I did have like a collection of about 100 A Real American Hero figures about a year ago, and I had the flag and everything. And there's videos on my channel, but it was nice to buy all that stuff. But I turned around and sold it on eBay and used that balance to buy just augment my Ninja Turtles and 12-inch GI Joe lines. So
That's what I do.
Yeah, I can't get excited about like the accessories or anything for a Real American Hero. That's what's cool about the 12-inch GI Joe is the accessories, and you know, I don't know, for some reason they just seem cooler.
And see,
Yeah,
I mean, you're younger than us too, and it's still, you know.
Yeah. You know, I think if they do like testing with kids, like at the toy companies, I've seen like videos of them doing that in the 80s. And I think if you put like a 3 3/4 inch figure, a 5-inch, all the different scales, I think kids like 4 to 5-year-olds just gravitate towards 12-inch figures. And that's why that's why those Titan Heroes are so successful. You can't deny it. The kids don't know anything about the lore. They don't know, you know, anything. They just know that looks cool, and you know, that's what works. So
sure.
Yeah, and the ones with the clothes on, the first thing they do is to take the clothes off.
So my son does all the time.
My fifth graders, the first time, I'm like, "What are you doing?" And next thing you know, all the clothes. I'm like, "Guys," but you know, that's the thing. Boots are all over, you know. But they do enjoy having those accessories and clothes and weapons and whatnot. And the from the Hall of Fame ones, the rifle like on Duke with a big red button. That was like, I think the worst weapon I ever saw for a 12-inch figure. But like I said, they're so detailed and unbelievable now, and what everyone's doing with 3D printing. And I know Cody rocks out with all the little attachments that he does for those weapons. So it's really cool.
My favorite figure from that 12-inch figure from that Hall of Fame style era, it wasn't really a Hall of Fame, it was Sergeant Savage.
Yes. That gun, that rifle's amazing.
The gun was great. And one of the best, in my opinion, I think Peter from Skull Review and I both talked about this, one of the best head sculpts of that era was Sergeant Savage. It's just a great head sculpt. I've actually taken that head and put it on one of the super articulated classic collection bodies, and I have him for an upcoming photo story sometime. But I love that figure.
Jeff, what one was that? That's not the one that had the patch on his head, the bandage on his head.
Yep.
That was the one with the bandage, that big gaudy bandage you had to like scrape off because it was so.
And his uniform's all tattered up and stuff.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's called Total Combat Savage.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I flocked one of those, and I actually put a beard on it, and I brushed it, and it came out really, really well. I'll have to post that one.
I've got a set of mail-in Hall of Fame outfit that you could get with flag points still in the early 90s. You could get a Cobra one, and you could get this one. And I got it on this guy with a set of Danner tactical boots. I love this guy.
Nice.
You know, Mike, I got to tell you, what drew me to your channel when I first saw it was that one figure that you showed that was, you could go either way. It was from one of the conventions. A generic soldier or Cobra soldier.
They were mail-aways like Jeff was talking about, but I guess it wasn't very successful as a mail-away. So they boxed them all up for, I think, like the 96 GI Joe convention. And you would get both a good guy green shirt infantry set and a bad guy Cobra infantry set. And the figure that in the video, I found out later, that's like a normal grunt figure. That's not what it came with. It came with like the commemorative collection Joe body, which is like the Hall of Fame body, but with articulated wrists and the 64-esque head sculpt that looks kind of like overblown. Like he looks like he's on steroids.
That was the Joseph Colton figure, because you can get the tall one and you could also get the small 3 3/4 inch one, I think. Yeah. That's a great memory, man.
I thought you were making that shit up, man, because I saw that box. I was like, look, I have over 500 Joes. I've never seen that one.
No, I actually kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on yojo.com. That's how I learned about it. And I had been searching for it on eBay for like 10 years.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And it pops up. But it's always like $100 because it's older collectors than us, that, you know, guys that, you know, now are in their 70s that were adults and spending the money to travel to a GI Joe convention in 1996. and they're trying to speculate that something that they bought 30 years ago is valuable, but it's not.
Right.
And so I just had to wait. I waited and I waited and I waited, and I finally got that one for like $25.
Really?
Yeah. After and I mean that's basically all it's worth, because I'm the only guy that's really searching for it. So
Did it come in a coffin box or anything?
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I don't want to mess up my connection here, but I'm mobile. So let's.
So Paul, you're gonna have to start looking for that one now for your collection.
Dude, I'm telling you, I didn't get to too many conventions, and it's hard to find those. And
yeah.
when you find them, Jeff's got them all in his room over there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In here.
You check out the
cool.
check out the box. It's like half and half. It's like
Yeah.
Now
Wicked.
inside the box would be either one of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got I don't want to flip my camera around here.
No, you're good.
Okay, so that's the Cobra infantry set
Right.
Bring him up, baby.
right there, and I got it on a Hall of Fame Cobra Commander. Because when you take his hood off, he has like the Cobra infantry mask on, sculpted on. So that's that set, and then I think this is the incorrect one. I think the one you have is the correct top.
Yeah.
It's variations, but this was in the box also, and it was that grunt with the green shirt and the camo pants. So
now, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you get the Hall of the GI? I think it was a GI Joe Land Adventure on a Hall of Fame body. So they had it was that 40th anniversary body. They flocked the head and the beard. I think they had that for a convention.
I don't have that. No,
You guys will have to look that up, because they had one of the conventions was an adventure team figure with the Hall of Fame body and head.
Do you know what year that was?
See, yours is from '96, Mike.
Yeah,
that one,
96.
it had to be around that era. If I had access to one of my books, it would probably show that guy. And I also think they did an astronaut figure for the convention, but don't quote me on that. If anybody in the comments, we got a lot of Joe heads out here. If anybody in the comments remembers that Hall of Fame adventure team figure, shout us out, because I don't know. I don't remember that one at all. I don't remember that at all either.
Never seen that one.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff. The weirdest of all, and I've only seen like one for sale ever, is they did a convention exclusive, and I don't think it was like the big #1 kit that they were touting for the convention, but it was available there, and it was a Hall of Fame Lady J that used.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's on yojo.com, and it's the Hasbro Action Man Natalie body with like a Lady J set.
Wow.
And I've seen one on eBay in like 10-15 years. So
what was that going for?
It was probably like $500 or $600, but I don't know if it actually sold for that. But
wow,
it's just such a weird.
Be like $3,000 today.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
That actually brings up something I've been meaning to bring up to the group at large, is that there's a documentary on YouTube. It's I don't know who it's by, but it's on this person that's called Air Devon or something like that. She collects GI Joe, right? She collected all these 12-inch GI Joes from all the foreign countries and everything like that. But then she also collected a Real American Hero and got every figure from every country that it was released in. And there's a series on YouTube, and I always watch it.
I saw her. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow. Her house was
that's where
full.
I seen that figure, that Lady J figure that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I've never seen it again.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work too.
Yeah, her plan was to make a book series or something like that, but I don't think it worked out for her or something like that.
Peter from the Skull Review says he's got that figure sealed.
Really?
Is that the figure you're talking about?
The one I'm talking about?
The one he's talking about, the Lady J?
Oh, he's got the Lady J.
I don't know if he's talking about that one or a different one.
Probably.
Peter, you're supposed to be logged in with us right now. Why don't you try to log in?
I'm not supposed to be here, man.
Yeah. And just sitting in for you, man.
I want to see that picture.
Sergeant Soldier was supposed to be here tonight, and he caved, and Pat was supposed to be here, and he caved.
I got a quick question for the group.
Yeah.
Is there a line of 12-inch GI Joe figures that you didn't collect that you wish you would have? I'll go first.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I wish I would have got the Dreams and Visions Sergeant Rock figures.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had an opportunity to buy them all at one time, and I'm gonna blame my ex-wife, my first wife.
Mm.
It's her fault.
I don't think
So if
she's
you-
watching.
So if you're watching this, it's your fault. No, I wanted to buy them, and I wanted the Unknown Soldier and Black Hawk and Enemy. I think Enemy Ace. I thought all those figures were super dope, and I never got them, and it's one of my biggest regrets collecting 12-inch figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Sergeant Rock figures. I would have loved to
Yeah.
have had those. And
Those were
I
awesome.
didn't even know about them. I think there was a time period that went by where I was so into World War II and Dragon and Ultimate Soldier figures
Mhm.
that I kind of missed out on some of the other GI Joe things that were being released at that time. And I passed over those. Don't remember seeing them, but boy, I would have jumped on that. Now you can't even touch them for like $500 if you want the
Yeah.
whole set.
Good
And I'm
luck.
like, you got to be kidding. But yeah, it would be a great set to have.
Adam says he didn't get an invite.
Oh,
He's too busy working on our photo story.
Adam just checked in at 8:45 and wants to know when to get an invite. 'Cause we started at 8 o'clock. That's why you didn't get an invite. You fell asleep on the couch again.
yeah, he's coming up with more Scooby-Doo stories, man. He's got to relax.
Because we're not talking Migos. That's why you're not on the show tonight. All right, I got a couple more questions before we let you go. Man, this hour's going quick.
Yeah, this is great.
Did you have a favorite toy line, or did I already ask you that? I mean, when you're a kid growing up, was it? I mean, GI Joe.
Yeah,
or no?
yeah, it's got to be GI Joe. Yeah, because I had that was the first collection I ever really built. I mean, I was like not even 4 years old, and I had like a lot of the 1987 stuff, and for some reason I didn't have anything in 88. I don't know. I think because I was like obsessed probably with Captain Power that year.
Oh wow!
But then in '89, I was like going to school and watching cartoons and making some of my own decisions, and started picking up I had a lot of that '89 GI Joe stuff, and was buying that at the same time as Ninja Turtles. But then I think I got burnt out on Ninja Turtles by '92, and I kind of went full force back into GI Joe and did that for the rest of my childhood, and never really got rid of them. And by the time I had an eBay account in like 2001, the second thing I bought an Atari Pong machine. And then the second thing I bought was the Cobra Buzz Bore with the armored Cobra Commander. And because I always wanted those too, and I couldn't find them, they weren't in the store.
Yep.
My parents were going to drive anywhere and look for them. So I never got them, even though it was like a budget vehicle.
It was.
So yeah, that's where my adult GI Joe collecting probably started, like 2001, 2002, and I've never really stopped. So yeah, it has to be GI Joe.
You touched on it for a second about cartoons. That was one of my questions. Do you have a favorite cartoon growing up? You weren't really a Saturday morning cartoon kid. You were past that, right? They were.
No, they were still. I remember they kind of died for me in like '98, but I was into them pretty heavy duty, in the '90s. But I could never find the Sunbow GI Joe cartoon. I always wanted to watch it, and I would catch it here and there, but I just didn't know how like the weird syndication worked or when the show came on. So, I watched Ninja Turtles, He-Man, all that stuff. But I was a big fan of the Deke cartoon for GI Joe, even though again it's inferior. The frames that they would draw per second were really low, really poor animation. But I was stoked to finally find GI Joe in the listings and know when it came on and catch it and watch it. Also, starting out really young, I was probably 8 years old. I started watching Beavis and Butthead, and that's my favorite cartoon of all time, and it's my favorite TV show of all time. So half the stuff in the game room back there is GI Joe, and the other half is Beavis and Butthead. And I got like animation cells and all that. So it's kind of a off the wall answer because it's really like an adult cartoon. But yeah, Silverhawks too.
Oh, yeah.
Honorable mention to Silverhawks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did
Uh,
you watch Mask?
oh yeah, yeah. You know, I guess I was kind of spoiled because I guess I had a ton of Mask stuff too, and that was another one though. I had the toys, I had the cross sell posters I would stare at for hours, but I could rarely find the TV show. I lived in South Florida, and maybe they had weird. The stations down there were weird about syndication, but you know, I would end up watching. I would always watch cartoons, but it'd be off the wall stuff. Police Academy, the series, and you know, the animated series, stuff like that. So,
Big Boss Jack just checked in. He's with us every week.
Did you watch Liquid Television on MTV?
yeah, I didn't. I would like to lie and say that that's where I saw Beavis and Butthead. You know, I was in on the ground floor. But I did remember watching Liquid Television, and I watched it quite a lot. But then I think the first time I saw Beavis and Butthead was like summer '93 or something, whenever the main series launched after the Frog Baseball aired on Liquid Television. So yeah, Liquid Television.
Back when MTV was awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Geography in Action said Johnny Quest, Herculoids. I remember them. Thundar.
Thundar was
Thundar the Barbarian.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love that one, man.
Yeah, I got Cartoon Network probably 1996, and fell in love with Johnny Quest, the original and the weird like reboot where he would go into virtual reality. And,
that was
great.
pretty good. That was pretty good. They did a good job with that too.
I had a line of action figures for that. That were pretty cool too. Yeah.
Hey, I asked this of all of our 1/6 scale collectors that I have on. Where do you see the future of 1/6 scale with all this 1/12 scale stuff coming out and getting real popular?
I think it's gonna. It always boils down to 1/6 scale because, like I said, the kids just gravitate towards those Titan heroes, and a lot of adult collectors eventually they transcend nostalgia and they just go with what's like the best. And a lot of guys end up it's like all roads lead to Hot Toys. I got I don't have one yet. I don't have one, but I want to get like a Terminator 1 T800 Hot Toy. But the guys that have the money and the means and to do that, and they've already kind of scratched their childhood itch with like Transformers and stuff, they eventually just go to Hot Toys. The kids, they just go to Titan Heroes or 12-inch figures. And so I think it has a bright future, especially because, there's all this like gender neutral stuff going on where, boys are allowed to play with their sister's Barbie stuff a little bit. And it's not such a faux pas like it was. And it's the go-to scale for girls. I've tried to pitch this to like Daryl DePriest, who used to be the brand manager at GI Joe, and a couple other people at GI Joe, and they never listen, or they say they can't listen to my idea. But I wish there's a Netflix show called Barbie Life in the Dream House, and it's like CG, cheaply made, but it's like the Barbies, and they look like dolls, but they're alive and they're doing stuff in their own little world, and it's really comedic. And I would love to see the Adventure Team. They need to let the Joe versus Cobra story die. They keep trying to it's like they rebooted GI Joe once with Joe versus Cobra. Now they need to come out with like a third iteration, like something totally different. But pulling from the past though, I would love to see like a show just like Barbie Life in the Dream House. My daughter was obsessed with it, and it's the Adventure Team in the headquarters just doing goofy stuff, getting stuck in quicksand, and then they could release like a budget series of 12-inch GI Joes. Maybe have the Land Adventurer with the beard and all, but it's painted, not flocked for like cost cutting, and uniforms that are really cheaply made, Velcro, just to put them out at like a good price point, and maybe simplify the articulation a little bit, they could make 12-inch GI Joes that look like the old ones and market them directly to kids without the nostalgia factor. beards are so popular. So, if they put out the adventure team, it'll look like dad, like the kid's dad with the beard and the mustache and,
Yep.
and,
Those are great ideas. I like those ideas a lot.
Yeah.
I do too. And I was going to say, if you go back to when they had the spy troops in Valor versus Venom, those were great. They were great cartoons. They were very well done. The Valor versus Venom, I think, was a little bit longer. I think it was it an hour?
It was on DVD one. Yeah.
Yeah. Spy Troops was like 45 minutes, and it was all that
Spy
CGI. They were great. And I mean, that would be a real easy way to have to do the adventure team. And I mean, GI Joe Resolute was probably the best one of all of them. I don't know if you ever seen
That's a great cartoon.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
so I mean, you could do that same thing.
Well, don't they have an Action Man cartoon?
That's what I was gonna say.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's I've watched it. It's on YouTube, and the person that uploaded it did a really good job and got really high qualities, and it's fun to watch. It has like 1 or 2 minute live action intros, and then an animated series for 18 minutes, and it's decent. If you've already explored all the other GI Joe media, it's fun.
Good, great.
I do have something I want to bring up to the group because I'm trying to rack my brain around it as it forms. But why is it that Action Man is having a new release of a figure where we can't get our GI Joe re-released in some form? I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but Action Man recently got another anniversary figure, and what it uses is the World Peacekeeper's body. If you're familiar with that type of body, and they just modified the head to fit onto that.
Correct.
And are releasing those types of figures. I'm just curious as to why that market is still getting that, and we're not.
Is that coming from Palatoy, or is that coming from?
That's the thing I don't know. It's like a third party is making it.
Okay.
It's like
a company called a company called Something Arts or something.
Yeah. Yes.
They just bought the license and then found a manufacturer, which was like the MNC people, and just did it without Hasbro. They I think they purchased the same license that you would if you wanted to like produce GI Joe t-shirts or something or mugs, and they're just doing it themselves because that's the problem. Is Hasbro just does not want anything to do with 12-inch GI Joe.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
And
those Falcon figures. Have you seen the Falcon figures? Those
Estrella's doing a great job.
Yeah, nonstop. They're producing things hand over left, nonstop.
Hasbro's throwing that GI Joe license out like dollars at a strip club in South Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got Super 7 doing it, Mezco's doing it. They got 3-0 doing the 12-inch line. They've got 3 figures out so far, 4, I think, of the 12-inch line. I don't know if you guys have even seen those. But Hasbro, they have I watch their live streams for GI Joe whenever they have them, which is so rarely because everybody's so polarized about GI Joe. But they have, if you watch the creative team, they have no interest in anything but classified Real American Hero. That's it. Yeah. And they're not even coming out with new characters. They're just rehashing the whole 80s line and early 90s line of characters, cherry picking the most popular ones and throwing them out there for $30 a piece. Maybe a few small vehicles, but they've actually, there's one I watched, somebody actually wrote in, they actually had read comments about doing Adventure Team, and they just kind of mockingly laughed it off. The design team has no interest in that. In my opinion, I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, they're probably all younger guys too that never had it.
Yeah, I think they look at. I think some of those younger people, and I could be wrong, look at the Adventure Team comically. I don't. I think it's an awesome. Like Mike was saying, I think it's the greatest line of GI Joe because it's so versatile. It's like the A-Team meets Indiana Jones meets Johnny Quest. It's just like your imagination can go anywhere with the Adventure Team. And it just blows my mind how they've pigeonholed themselves into just one genre. I love Real American Hero, but it's a genre,
Right.
Yep.
But I would love to see him just do a line like G.I. Joe Legends. Do a 6-inch line or 1/12 line encompassing all eras of G.I. Joe from 1964 up to now, Super Joe. And then you can do 12-inch deluxe versions of those figures. And like Mike was saying, you can do Titan figures. Hell, you can even make a video game. An Adventure Team video game would be great.
Yeah.
Going out there, finding cryptids, discovering lost cities, going underwater, doing all that shit.
Sure.
It's like talking to a wall.
Yeah, and I mean, it's funny because it seems like a lot of the Hasbro people, I don't know, I don't want to make like assumptions, but I guess it seems like maybe there's all this PC stuff going on
Yep.
in pop culture in general, and so you'd think they would want to get away from military.
Right.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
You know, like it's great that they're making them, and I'm pro military, pro law enforcement, all that. But I would think based on their own logic that they would want to get away from combat and you know conflicts and stuff. And so the adventure team makes sense, and that's why they did it in the 70s. They wanted to get away from it.
Yeah, man, it's with Indiana Jones coming back out, and you know all the you got the Graham Hancock Netflix series about ancient civilizations and stuff like that. I mean, the adventure team is just right there, ready to be plucked by a creative person.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Hasbro won't let anybody touch the adventure team license. They won't let they won't let Sideshow or 3-0 or anybody license that stuff out. They're like taking it, put it in a box, and just locked it up.
That's why we got to keep doing what we're doing.
Exactly.
It makes our stuff more cool, and you know, it makes all of our channels more appealing to people with, you know, Angelo's stuff, my photo stories, Mike's collections, Paul's collections, Greg's stuff, Adam's stuff. You know, I think we're doing great because people who remember all that stuff find our channels on YouTube or see us on Instagram.
It's the only place to see it. It's the only place to see it.
Yep. Yeah. So we all just got to keep doing what we're doing and do it to the best of our abilities. And I think, you know, we're all going to be awesome and successful at it.
We're coming down to the wire, guys. It's about 2 minutes till.
Yeah.
I know we could talk about GI Joes all night, but it's a school night for Angelo. He's got to go to.
No, I got the week off, brother.
Spring break in New York.
Yeah, that's why I was working in the yard all day today.
Oh, damn, man. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I do have one game to play with our guest here.
All right.
And I tried to do something different tonight. I looked up the 10, and this is why I brought in Filmaholic as well, because he's going to kick ass on this. I looked up the 10 greatest movie scenes of all time. Now, this is not the 10 greatest movies of all time, but movie scenes. Hopefully, Mike, you're into movies as much as you are in the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty hardcore.
So we're just going to keep going around.
All right, Ben-Hur is in
I
it.
thought of 3 of these. That's about it. The other ones. So, and if anybody's out there chat in what they think are the top 10 greatest movie scenes of all time. Go ahead. Anybody?
Can I ask a question? No, when was this published? When was this article published?
2022.
Okay.
So 2 years ago. Yep. Or 1 year ago. Yeah. Anybody? No movie. No movie.
We're just going off the rack, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just go around the circle. We'll start with Mike. Mike, you got
Mike.
one?
Yeah.
I tell you what, guess the movie first, and then if I say then you can guess.
Okay, that's good.
I'll have to say 1984 is The Terminator. I'll be back.
Nope.
Scene. No.
What?
Didn't even make it probably was on the list, but it wasn't the top 10.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Again, these are movie scenes, so it could have been a shitty movie with a really good scene in it. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
You got Ben-Hur. Is Ben-Hur in one of those?
No, but there's one from that same era with the same actor.
Spartacus.
Is there one from The Godfather?
No, but that was on the list, but it wasn't top 10.
I got one.
Go ahead.
I got one. The Statue of Liberty reveal at the end of Planet of the Apes, I guess. With
there you go.
Oh, dude, that would have been a cool one, but no, that's not on the list.
Okay.
Really?
I got
What
one.
is this? Who's writing this?
I got. How about this one?
Man.
Pulp Fiction.
Nope, didn't even make the list.
Jurassic
Indiana
Park,
Jones.
New
You
York
got any
Breakout?
Indy?
Nope.
No Indy.
What?
Star Wars.
Nope.
Usual Suspects. Jesus Christ, in Italy. Where's this made? France?
Gone with the Wind?
Oh, that would be good. No Gone with the Wind.
Tootsie.
Not on the list I have.
Psycho?
Yep. Psycho's there. The shower scene.
Oh, is it with the knife scene?
Right.
Yep. So
there you go.
that was one. That was number 3 on the list, actually.
No
Oh,
kidding.
okay.
I got one Disney cartoon on here. Believe it or not.
Bambi.
Is Fantasia? No.
Fantasia would make
Sleeping
sense.
Beauty.
Lady and the Tramp, the spaghetti
What? The
kiss.
spaghetti
Oh
scene?
my god.
Oh, really? That's the bar we're at? Okay.
I mean, that's cool, but not top 10.
Yeah.
There's
made this
another.
Um,
I think this is another
not
Disney
even,
one.
not
Well,
even
it's
Snow
definitely-
White. Snow White should have been
Who
up
made
there
this
in
list?
place
Rolling
of Lady and the
Stone?
Tramp.
Giving up?
The Big
Conan?
Lebowski.
Oh,
Is that
oh
up there?
in the chat, Geography in Action said
Oh,
Jaws.
yeah,
I bet
Jaws.
he's correct.
That it was on the list, but it wasn't in the top 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled up
All right,
the
give
top
us
10.
then give us the movie title, and we'll try to come up with the scene.
Okay. I'll start reverse order. The Dark Knight.
Oh, this is friggin'. Oh,
I'm
this
Batman.
list. This list has got to go. We need a
Why
better
did-
list.
Where do you think I got these scars? Maybe.
Yep. Why so serious?
there you
go.
Yep. That
Oh,
part there.
jeez.
The movie Seven.
Oh, the what's in the
Yo.
box?
Yep. The head delivered in the box, man.
That was
when
a
he,
wild. That was a wild.
Yeah.
scene.
All right, Paul's no
When
longer
I
in
saw
charge
that,
of
I
getting
was
the
like,
Filmaholic list or the film list.
Should have Greg come up with his own.
the older movie I was thinking about when you said Ben-Hur, the Ten Commandments.
Yep.
When he was
Moses.
parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That was on the list. Silence of the Lambs, when he has his
Oh,
first
okay, yeah,
conversation with Hannibal, when she talks to Hannibal
I
for
can
the
agree
first
with
time.
that one.
Yeah.
E.T., the bike chase scene.
Oh, okay.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
maybe.
Poltergeist.
Oh,
Carol Ann's
the
interaction
TV?
with the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Lady and the Tramp. You guessed Psycho. All right, top two. Come on, man. You gotta. They're both 80, 90 movies.
80s, 90s movies.
Well, my
Breakfast
buddies,
Club.
90 movies. I think they're both 90s.
my buddies in the chat. My friend Ben's in the chat. He
Yep.
goes by I Roller Boot, and he guessed a Forrest Gump. So I think that's
Nope.
a pretty good guess. Nope.
Forrest
Nope.
Gump,
Really?
no?
Not in the top two.
That-
Not the top two that I have. Yeah.
And
Can you-
The Ring. No.
no
Name an
Pretty
act-
in Pink or Breakfast Club or
Not on,
How about
again,
Pretty
there was
Woman?
a couple lists. I just pulled one of the list, but
Pretty Woman.
nope.
Total Recall.
Nope.
No.
Jesus.
We have Rain Man
with the
Okay.
matches.
with it
Okay.
winning hand when he keeps winning every hand.
All right.
Yeah.
And the top one is Titanic.
Of course.
Jack's death on the ship
When he drowns.
when he drowns. Top 10 movie scenes of all time.
Well, where did that?
So,
this came
Filmaholic,
from?
I want you to come up with your best. for
Yes,
next week,
please.
okay?
You got to
We
have
need
some
better
classics
than
in there,
that.
brother. If you
Yeah.
don't have it, you have to at least have a black and white one in there.
Yeah,
I went,
exactly.
coming,
I went to
Well,
film
Psycho
school.
was in there.
Yeah, that's
Psycho
true.
was.
I was actually, going to direct and produce. That was my first love. I went to school for that. So I
really?
watched plenty of those black and white silent
Same
films.
here.
Birth of the Nation was like 6 hours long.
Shit.
Yeah, just going back. You guys don't know hear that.
Oh.
The
No, I
Gish.
know about
I'm
that.
surprised Wizard of Oz should have been on there. you
Yeah,
know?
should have.
There you go. That's another good one.
I mean,
Yep.
that, when they
Is
turns
there-
from black and white to color.
Is it the
Yeah.
one you watch with Pink Floyd? Because that's the only Wizard of Oz I know.
Different show, different movie.
Hmm.
Hey, Mike, I want to bring you up one more time, and this is your chance to plug your channel, your show, your Instagram, whatever you want to talk about. So go ahead and let them know where to find you.
Appreciate it, sir. Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Mike's GI Dojo. I don't know what the link is, but you come up, search for Mike's GI Dojo, or even if you search for GI Joe Real American Hero Fort America, I think I'm the only guy that's posted a video about that that place and that's part of the reason I started the channel was there was no Fort America video, so I just wanted to fill in the gaps. Talk about the goofy stuff no one else wants to talk about.
Yep.
Also, anybody who's into like skate stunts and stuff, I have another YouTube channel that's called Mike McFly, and that's at Flying on Blades. And I do rollerblading stunts. I do flips, grind rail,
What?
all that. That channel actually has almost 1,300 subscribers.
Holy
but
smokes.
I've like poured blood, sweat, and tears into that channel. And with GI
Literally.
Dojo, I don't really work that hard. And it's funny, like I'm getting more views and a little more traction lately on here. So,
Oh yeah, you got a great channel, man.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, Instagram is at Flying on Blades.
Yep.
It's simple how it sounds. You guys can message me about anything, GI Joe, Turtles, pizza, movies, rollerblading, whatever. And you know, at GI Dojo, you know, you can leave me a comment on either channel or Instagram. I'll always write back. You know, and that's all I got to say. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man. Great time.
It was, man. Appreciate it.
We'll have to
Now
do it
you need to
again.
GI Joe and with rollerblades or something. You got to get a new costume.
Yeah, I've got Action Man, 90s Action Man in there with the Ken light up sparking Barbie rollerblades.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they have like the little they're like Bic lighter flint striker things.
I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow when I'm at work.
Yeah.
Just me going through all those. I'm like, let me watch these videos of you rollerblade. I'm like,
the best
think
ones
we can make him like a tier 2, tier 3 AOA member?
Yeah,
here,
you're an
or what?
AOA guy. Welcome to the AOA.
Thank you.
Come on in.
X is awesome.
Thank
Come
you.
on in.
I
So your
promise
next
to
videos,
never-
we got to see
never
the
embarrass
AOA
you.
logo in there.
Yeah.
I
All
love
right,
this.
guys.
It's a great time,
All right,
guys.
everyone,
Thanks
take
for
care.
having me on.
We'll see you next Monday.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. Yes,
Have a good
definitely.
night.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Hey,